Oh, howdy, friends! Did you know that God is always at work for the good of everyone who loves Him? That's right, little buckaroos. It's time to giddy up and spend some mighty fine time with friends, Dusty, Dallas, and Billy the Bandit for barrels of fun in Tumbleweed Canyon as we dive into this new series and discover that God loves us and has a special purpose for each one of our lives. Woo doggy! Grab your boots and let's get gussied up as we get ready to head way out west.
Last week on Way Out West, Dusty and Dallas trusted God out on the trail and finally made it way out west to Tumbleweed Canyon. They discovered the wily bandit who had been chasing them out on the trail was none other than Mayor Rowdy's own son, Buck. Tumbleweed Canyon is a land even better than they could have dreamed of, and now that they've seen it with their own eyes, they're ready to ski-daddle on back to Rowdy Town to rescue the folks from Mayor Rowdy once and for all.
Woo-wee! Take a look at these! This place is a gold miner's dream! What you hobbling around for?
Oh, Buck Rowdy got me real good.
What do you mean?
Well, I went to the general store over yonder to pick us up some supplies, and while I was there looking around, that weasel tripped me up with this rope. And I fell straight into a big old barrel of pickles, and that barrel of pickles knocked over a big shelf of hot sauce, and all the hot sauce bottles fell on top of the coop of chickens that was sitting right in the middle of the store.
What a mess!
Let's just say, I sure hope them folks here in Tumbleweed Canyon like their chicken spicy.
Did you see which way Buck Rowdy went? Maybe we can find him.
No, he got out of Dodge real quick after that, but he left us a threatening note.
Well, what's it say?
You two might have made it to Tumbleweed Canyon, but I won't let you get back to Rowdy Town. Surrender now, or I can promise it'll blow up in your faces. You've been warned.
What do you think that means?
Well, if I had to guess, he planted that note for me to find. But I don't think he meant for us to find the telegram that was stuck to the back of it.
Buck, how could you let them make it to Tumbleweed Canyon? I'm shipping 2 extra crates of dynamite to you. Take care of it once and for all. You better make sure they don't get back to Rowdy Town, or you'll be the one who pays.
Oh, I guess Buck was pretty serious when he said it'll blow up in our faces if we don't surrender.
Well, we gotta get out of Tumbleweed Canyon before that dynamite gets here and we go out with a bang!
I can't go like this. My ankle's all twisted.
We don't have a choice. How about you just hobble on over to Doc's office, see if he can wrap it up real tight or something. I'll go take this gold to the bank, cash it in so we got enough money for the trip back to Rowdy Town.
Is there enough for all the folks in Rowdy Town, too?
Oh, there is more than enough for everyone. And it's the real deal. Now, you need to skedaddle on up to Doc's, and we are going to get going soon.
All right, okay, I'm going. Oh, that Buck Rowdy. Oh, who does he think he is?
Oh, what did Doc say? Thank you. Whoa, look at you. You are fit as a fiddle.
No, not exactly. The doc said that I gotta...
Oh, good. Is that some of that medicine he gave you so we can finish the ride back to Rowdy Town?
No,
Woo!
Dallas, the doc said there's no way I can go back to Rowdy Town with you.
You have to. I can't go back there by myself.
You've turned into quite a traveling ranger since we've been out on the trail. You're ready for
Are
this.
you sure you didn't hit your head when you fell too?
Not that I know of. Why?
Because you ain't thinking straight. I'm not meant for life on the trail by myself. And even if somehow I did make it back to Rowdy Town, I can't lead all those folks out here on my own. Now, how about I just give you a piggyback ride? All right, I'm ready. Hop on. Yeah.
No way, okay? You wouldn't even carry the satchel of supplies half the time out there. You can't carry me all that way.
right, good point. What if I just stay here and see if they need any more deputies?
Now why in tarnations would you do that? You don't have time.
Because I'm just thinking that maybe you've been wrong this whole time about my life's purpose being to save the folks of Rowdy Town. Maybe I'm supposed to stay right here and protect the people of Tumbleweed Canyon instead.
What? You can't go and try to be a deputy here.
It'd just be so much easier. And I wouldn't have to face Mayor Rowdy.
I think I know something that just might change your mind, okay? I gotta run to the general store and pick up a copy of the Tumbleweed Times. I read an article in there that I think will help you. Now, I'll be back in just a jiffy, okay?
I don't think you're gonna be going anywhere in just a jiffy until that ankle heals up.
Well, you know what I mean.
All right. Oh, hurry up.
I'm glad Dusty is going to be all right after those wild shenanigans at the general store. And I sure hope Dallas can muster up enough courage to go back to Rowdy Town on her own to save the people from Mayor Rowdy. Before we find out what happens next, let's giddy on up for one of our favorite songs from the Wild West.
Hey there, how do you do? We're headed out west, but we're waiting on you. Kick up your boots and join the fun. Just follow along, watch how it's done. We're headed out west, and we're all in this together. Giddy up, partner, it's time to go. We're headed out west like birds of a feather. Come on, get up, it's time to go. Do-si-do and howdy hi, saddle up, it's time to ride. Get on your feet, lickety-split, stomp your boots and just don't quit. We're headed out west and we're all in this together. Giddy up, partner, it's time to go. We're headed out west like birds of a feather. Come on, get up, it's time to go. Spin your lasso round and round. Come on, partner, let's get down. Nowhere else we'd rather be. Come on and holler, repeat after me. Yee-haw! 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 We're headed out west and we're all in this together. Giddy up, partner, it's time to go. We're headed out west like birds of a feather. Come on, get up, it's time to go. We're headed out west and we're all in this together. Giddy up, partner, it's time to go. We're headed out west like birds of a feather. Come on, get up, it's time to go. Come on, get up, it's time to go.
God's plan and Moses' purpose. God had a plan and a purpose for Moses' life, and, well, this was obvious from the very start. When Moses was born, Pharaoh was making a rule that all the new baby boys had to be thrown into the Nile River. But instead of getting tossed into the river, Moses' mama put him in a basket and placed it in the tall grass that grew along the bank of the river. Wouldn't you know it, at that moment, Pharaoh's daughter came on down to the river to take a bath. Well, she saw little old baby Moses and raised him as her very own son. Moses grew up in the Pharaoh's house, living the life of luxury. Well, one day he was just a-walking along when he saw an Egyptian man mistreating a Hebrew slave. Moses took matters into his own hands to protect the Hebrew man. And when Pharaoh found out what Moses had done, he was angry as an old mule. So Moses hightailed it out of Egypt and went to live with his people in a place called Midian. Moses got married, and I guess he figured his purpose was just to watch his father-in-law's sheep. But God had other plans in mind. All the while, God's people, the Israelites, worked as slaves for the Egyptians. They cried out to God for help, and God heard them. God spoke to Moses through a burning bush and told him that he had a special purpose for his life. He chose Moses to lead the Israelites to the land that he had promised them. While Moses was leading the Israelites to the promised land, they had quite the adventure along the way. God fed the Israelites bread from the sky when they were hungry. When they were thirsty, God had Moses strike a rock for water. When things weren't going quite right, God also sent the 10 Commandments to show them how to live their lives on the straight and narrow. In the end, God came through on every promise. The Israelites were finally free from those Egyptians. They were no longer stuck in the desert, and they were on the edge of heading into the land God had told them about all along. At the end of Moses' life, God allowed him to see that special land from a distance. It was better than a city of gold. When you look back at Moses' life, it's pretty clear that God had a purpose in everything he did. Moses could have had a life of royalty, living it up in the palace with the Egyptians. But no, God saw fit to use him in ways he could have never dreamed up. Instead of doing his own thing, Moses listened to God and did what he said. By obeying God and trusting in God's plan for his life, God used Moses to lead the Israelites out of Egypt and to the land that God had promised them. Just like God had a purpose for Moses' life, he has a purpose for each one of our lives too.
My life has a purpose.
Let's play Rascal Roundup. Can you find the sneaky rascal hiding in these pictures? When you spot the rascal, point him out. See if you can find him before his hiding spot is revealed. You got it! Can you find him again? Great job! Let's play one more round. Way to go! Now get on your feet. It's time to sing.
You spoke a word and brought the world to light. Your voice still echoes through the darkest night. I could try my best to count the stars. Nothing could compare to who you are. upside down. When I can't find solid ground, you turn it all around. Nothing is impossible. When I feel like I'm alone, when I'm far away from home, I know that I'm your own. Nothing is impossible. When my world is upside down, when I can't find solid ground, you turn it all around. Nothing is impossible. When I feel like I'm alone, when I'm far away from home, I know that I'm your own. Nothing is impossible. With you, everything is brought to light. With you, everything comes back to light. You died to make me whole. I want the world to know. With you, nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. With you, nothing is impossible. You died to make me whole. I want the world to know. With you, nothing is impossible.
Oh, good, you're back. I was getting worried about you.
I'm all right, just traveling a little slower than I'm used to. Now, can I show you what I saw in the newspaper? I think it'll help you feel better about heading back to out of town out on your own.
Well, sure. Well, I don't see why you want to tell me about the new store they're opening, trying to sell gold cowboy hats.
Not that story, this one down here.
Okay, so...
Don't you see? Moses could have spent his whole life up at Pharaoh's palace and lived a life of riches and royalty, but he didn't do it. Even though it was hard and uncomfortable at times, he knew God had a purpose for his life, and for the most part, he obeyed the things that God told him to do.
Well, that is true. But what's that got to do with me?
I know it's easier for you to just stay here and be a deputy in Tumbleweed Canyon, but you can't give up on the purpose God has for you to help the people of Rowdy Town. And if you give up, you'll never experience the great things God has in store for your life.
Well, yeah. I guess Moses faced some pretty hard things. But he never gave up. Yeah. Well, I know you're right. It's my purpose to save the folks of Rowdy Town, and, well, by golly, I'm gonna do it.
I knew you'd come around. All right, we gotta get you out on your way before Buck Rowdy lights that dynamite of his.
Ooh, I'm gonna put a stop to Mayor Rowdy's shenanigans once and for all. Woo!
Shoo-wee. I sure hope this is from Dallas. Dusty, we finally made it to our final stop here at Dead Man's Fork. God is with us and he'll take care of us. We should be arriving around high noon on the 26th. The 26th? That's today! Oh, they should be passing through Paradise Valley as we speak. Oh, man. Woo!
Dusty, is that you?
Of course it's me.
Good to see you, partner.
It's good to see you too, partner.
Oh,
Shoo-wee. Ain't gonna lie to you. You smell like you've been out on the trail for a while now.
well, I'll just tell you all about it. Come on. I tell you, it sure was quite an adventure bringing all those folks from Rowdy Town way out west. I had a few setbacks here and there, but I just kept reminding everybody that God was with us and had a plan for everything that was going on.
I can't wait to talk to everybody. They're gonna love it here.
Well, it sure looks like you're fitting in quite nicely. I ain't never seen such a fancy hat before.
Oh, you like that? The mayor around here gave it to me. Said he wanted me to know how the folks here are just plumb excited to have me around.
Well, I'll be. Say, do you think he's gonna feel the same way about all the people around town being here too?
I surely do.
Oh, well, how come you're so confident?
'Cause while you were gone, I told the mayor and all the folks of Tumbleweed Canyon about how you had gone back to rescue everybody from Mayor Rowdy.
Well, and what'd they say?
That they'd welcome as many people into this town that came. And he even gave us a huge chunk of land over at the edge of town. It's called Golden Village.
Oh, I can't wait to see it!
There's more. Guess who he named sheriff of Golden Village?
Who?
You, of course. And he got a badge made for you just to make it official.
Is this real gold? Oh, good golly, that mayor sure does sound a whole lot nicer than Mayor Rowdy.
Oh, yeah. Mayor Rowdy. Was he real mad when you came back to get everybody?
Ooh, you're not gonna believe it. Apparently, after we left, he got so greedy, he started stealing all the extra money from the railroad tycoon, Harry Morgan. So much that he got locked up in the town jail.
That's a real knee slapper.
Yes, sirree. I tell you, I can sleep easier knowing that he is in jail now. But hey, what happened to Buck? Did he ever try to set off that dynamite he had?
Yeah, oh, he set it off all right.
What do you mean?
Oh, well, it happened a few days after you set out for Rowdy Town. I saved the article just so you could see it for yourself.
Well,
This'll get him.
Whoa!
That's it. It just ain't worth getting blown to pieces. Sorry, Dad. I quit.
Yeah.
Hey.
I thought you might get a kick out of it.
Well, that sneaky bandit got what he had coming to him. It sure does feel good to be back here in Tumbleweed Canyon. Oh,
Miss Nellie. I sure could go for some of her world-famous chili right now, but I had forgotten about that off-key singing of hers.
Oh, here, I got some stale biscuits you can plug in your ears if you need to.
Woo! Just don't let her know that they're taking auditions at the music hall.
Well, everybody's got a purpose in this town.
The fine folks from Rowdy Town settled in quite nicely and found a home in Tumbleweed Canyon. They saw that God had a purpose for each of their lives in that fine town. Dallas continued protecting the people as sheriff of Golden Village, and Dusty continued spending plenty of time out on the range.
My life has a purpose. For today's Rootin' Tootin' Review, we'll pan for gold to see if we can remember something we learned today. After hearing today's question, we'll start panning. When you see gold letters, call them out. See if you can guess the answer before they all unscramble. In today's Bible story, what did Moses choose to believe that God had for his life? A purpose. Moses was raised by Pharaoh's daughter, but instead of choosing the fancy life of living as Egyptian royalty, he chose to believe that God had a bigger purpose for him. By obeying God and trusting in God's plan for his life, God used Moses to lead the Israelites out of Egypt and to the land that God had promised them.
Heading way out west is always full of fun surprises, and I'm so thankful to know that God has a special purpose and plan for each of our lives. Before y'all mosey on back to where you came from, let's bow our heads, close our eyes, and pray together. Hey God, thank you for loving us and helping us see that you have a special purpose for each of our lives. Help us to trust and obey you so that we can live the greatest lives possible. We love you. Amen.